She said it was just a weekend with the girls. Wine, shopping, and a spa day out of town, nothing unusual. She even laughed when she told me about it, like it was just another innocent getaway they did every year. And honestly, I wanted to believe her. But something didn't feel right this time. Maybe it was how she packed her bags, choosing lingerie she hadn't worn in months. Or maybe it was the way she kept her phone glued to her hand, face down, like it might explode if I even glanced at it. Her energy had shifted. Her smile was a little too forced, her voice a little too rehearsed. I've always trusted my gut. It had never failed me before. So when she kissed me goodbye and said, "Don't wait up," I smiled, nodded, and did exactly the opposite. She thought I was at home, watching football and eating leftovers. What she didn't know was that I had already packed my own bag, that I had followed her route the night before using location sharing, that I knew exactly which hotel she was staying at, and that I had a plan. I left the house 10 minutes after she did. I took a different highway, stayed a few exits behind, and kept my phone in airplane mode. I wasn't there to confront her. Not yet. I wanted the truth first. I wanted evidence. And more than anything, I wanted to see if my instincts were right. I checked into a small motel across the street from the hotel she had booked. Basic. Cheap. No questions asked. From the window, I had a perfect view of the parking lot. It didn't take long. 2 hours after she arrived, a car pulled up next to hers. A man stepped out. Tall, casual, too comfortable. He wasn't helping her with luggage. He didn't knock on the hotel room door. He used a key. They were staying together. I watched from the shadows as they laughed, touched, kissed. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't a mistake. It was planned. This wasn't her first time. Not with him. That was the moment something inside me shifted. I wasn't angry. Not in the way I expected. I wasn't heartbroken. Not yet. I was focused. Because now I had what I needed, the truth. And what I did next, she never saw coming. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even try. I sat in that dark motel room with the blinds half open, watching their door across the street like a hunter waiting for movement. Every once in a while, I'd see the glow of lights turn on and off. Sometimes I'd catch a shadow past the curtains. But mostly, it was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet you only get when two people think they're safe. When they think no one is watching. By sunrise, I had a plan. Not just a reaction. A strategy. I wasn't going to make a scene. I wasn't going to storm in or confront her in the hallway. No. That would make her the victim in her own story. And I wasn't about to let her twist this around. So I waited. I tracked every detail. What time they left the hotel. Where they went. When they returned. I followed them to a brunch spot across town, nothing romantic, just casual. Comfortable. Like they'd done this a dozen times before. Back at the hotel, I watched again from across the street. This time I filmed. I zoomed in. I took photos. Time-stamped everything. When they embraced at the elevator. When they kissed in the hallway. When his hand slipped around her waist like it belonged there. And every moment I felt the fire grow stronger inside me, not rage, but clarity. This wasn't just about catching her. This was about controlling how the truth came out. She had lied to my face. Slept beside me for months. Played the role of a loving wife while plotting her escape. But now? Now the roles were changing. That evening I drove home. No calls. No messages. She didn't even check in once. Not a single good night or miss you. Just silence. Like she'd already replaced me. And that's exactly what I needed. I got back around 11 p.m. The house was just as she left it. Clean. Quiet. Perfect for what I was about to do. I grabbed a box from the garage and started packing. Her favorite things first. Jewelry. Perfume. Her skincare drawer. Then I moved to the closet. Designer shoes. Dresses she wore for him, not me. I labeled each box with the same word, return. By the time I was done, it was nearly 3 a.m. But I wasn't tired. I was laser-focused. I took screenshots of our shared accounts, moved my salary to a new bank account with only my name on it, and froze our joint credit cards. I called my lawyer in the morning and scheduled a meeting. Then I waited. When she finally walked through the door Sunday night, she looked relaxed. Rested. She smelled like hotel soap and unfamiliar cologne. Her hair was still styled. Her lips glossed. Like she came from a movie set instead of a betrayal. "Hey babe," she said casually. "Miss me?" I smiled. Of course. And just like that, she thought she was safe. But what she didn't know was that the walls were already closing in. I spent the next few days pretending everything was normal. I kissed her goodbye in the morning. Texted her during lunch. Even cooked dinner one night like I used to. She smiled, laughed, touched my arm like nothing had happened. It was all a game to her. A performance. and I let her believe she was winning. But behind the curtain, every move she made was already documented. I had photos, video, screenshots, messages. Her little getaway had turned into a full-blown case file. And while she slept soundly in our bed, I was working with a lawyer to make sure her lies cost her everything. It wasn't just about the affair anymore. It was about how she tried to manipulate me, gaslight me, how she smiled in my face while planning her future with someone else. I wasn't just her husband. I was her safety net, her backup plan in case the affair didn't work out. And that made me realize something. She didn't just cheat on me. She used me. So I decided to flip the script. I reached out to the hotel she stayed at, told them I had a lost item I believed had been left in her room. They confirmed the reservation name. It wasn't hers, it was his. She hadn't even bothered to book it in her name. That was all I needed. One confirmation to connect her to him. Next, I found his social media. It didn't take long. He was exactly the type, overconfident, loud, full of gym selfies and cheap quotes about loyalty. The irony nearly made me laugh. His profile was wide open. Photos of him at the same brunch spot I'd seen them at. A check-in at the hotel. And worst of all, a post with a caption, "Best weekend in a long time." No tags, no names, just arrogance. So I started downloading, saving, creating folders. I sent one anonymous message to his girlfriend. I had found her through tagged posts. She looked happy, normal, the kind of woman who didn't deserve to be lied to. I sent everything, no explanation. Just the facts. Let the truth speak for itself. Then I prepared for the final act. Saturday night, I told my wife we were invited to dinner at my parents' house. She groaned at first, said she was tired. I smiled and told her it would mean a lot to me. That it was just family. Nothing big. She agreed. Got dressed. Did her makeup. Put on the same necklace I had given her for our anniversary, ironic considering what I knew. When we arrived, the house was full. But not just family. Friends. Her coworkers. Even her sister. She looked confused. I smiled. "It's a surprise," I said. She laughed, still clueless. Everyone sat down. I stood up to say a few words. Thanked everyone for coming. Told them how grateful I was for family. Then I said, "There's something important I want to share." I connected my phone to the TV and pressed play. At first, there was silence. Then came the photos. The time-stamped videos. Her in the hallway. The embrace. The kiss. The audio clip I had recorded from the conversation she had in the hotel room. People gasped. Her sister covered her mouth. One of her friends stood up and walked out. My wife froze. Her eyes wide. Her face pale. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. And in that moment, surrounded by the people who thought they knew her, the truth destroyed every lie she had built. She didn't cry. Not at first. She just stood there frozen, as if she was hoping the floor would open up and swallow her whole. The room had gone completely silent. Everyone was staring, some in shock, others in disgust. Her reputation, her image, her little perfect act shattered in seconds. She looked at me, her lips parted, eyes desperate. "Can we talk? Please, just you and me." I shook my head slowly. Everything that needed to be said was just shown. And then I turned to the guests. "Thank you all for coming. That's all I had to share tonight. I thought you deserved to know." Her friends were speechless. Her sister walked over, gave me a hug, and whispered, "I'm so sorry." Then she turned to my wife and said, "You did this to yourself." Others followed her out the door without a word. My wife collapsed into a chair, hands trembling. I sat across the table from her, watching her try to pull herself together. "You weren't supposed to find out," she finally said. "It didn't mean anything. I thought you didn't care anymore." I laughed quietly. "So you cheated because I gave you peace and stability? Because I trusted you? I made a mistake." "No," I said, standing up. "You made a choice. Again and again. I just made one too." She followed me to the door, still begging. "Please, don't leave like this. We can fix it." I turned, looked her in the eyes one last time. "No. You lied, used me, and betrayed everything we had. There's nothing left to fix." And I walked out. That night, I didn't go home. I stayed at a friend's place. Slept for the first time in weeks without tension in my chest. Without second-guessing. Without lies. The next morning, I met with my lawyer. The divorce was already in progress, but I added everything I had shown the night before. Evidence. Witnesses. Financial tracking. She wouldn't be able to twist this into her version of events. As for him, the guy from the hotel, his girlfriend sent me a thank you message. Said she'd left him that same night and moved back in with her parents. Apparently, it wasn't the first time he'd done something like this. But it was the last. My wife tried calling, messaging, even showed up at my work once. I didn't engage. I had already said everything I needed to. She could live in the wreckage she created. I had moved on. And now? Now I'm free. Free from lies. Free from the game. Free from pretending to be okay while being betrayed. I share this story not because I want pity, but because I want people to know you don't have to scream to get revenge. You don't need to lose your temper to take control. Sometimes the most brutal revenge is calm, silent, and strategic. And if you've ever been lied to, used, or betrayed, just know the truth always finds a way out. Thanks for listening. What would you have done in my place? Tell me in the comments. Like the story if it hit you. And don't forget to subscribe because I've got more stories you won't believe. This was just the beginning.